Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very much for tuning in to this late evening live stream. Madam Secretary is preparing another run. I'll be right eventually on this. I told you Clinton would lose to Trump 6 years ago. I said there would be a stock market crash in September of 2021. And now we're seeing this, ladies and gentlemen. Ex-Clinton advisor Hillary setting up 2024 presidential bid with critique of mashed potato brains Joe. Now, President Trump has already stated he is going to do it all over again. Thank God. We may have to do it again. Right there. So thank God. Hit subscribe to this channel, ladies and gentlemen. To my super chat. I cannot do this without you people. Thank you so very much. And your super chat support is greatly appreciated. If you want to talk about this topic, the stock market, any topic within reason, via super chat, your support is just greatly, greatly appreciated. Also, I will be having a live stream. So I usually do uploads in the morning. I'll probably have a live stream. Touch Brilliance, hello. Eric, hello. Kristen, everybody here. Dazed, hello. I'll probably have a live stream, ladies and gentlemen, at around, 3 or 4 p.m. tomorrow. I'll try to do it a little earlier, and that'll be my first segment of the day. So I'll be doing a lot more live streams this month because we're going to have, the Durham Probe Special Counsel is tomorrow. So when you see this, it'll be Monday. The Durham Probe Special Counsel is tomorrow. And we'll have a conviction. We'll have at least one conviction out of the 5 counts. If there's not a conviction, if there's not even 1 out of 5 counts convicted, Durham has a huge problem. So he's currently the lead prosecutor during this trial. It should end up differently. But we have midterms. The map or the polls are showing that Democrats have squandered whatever lead the DOJ gave them in terms of running, in terms of the Mar-a-Lago raid. So they're the ones who interfere in midterms. They're the ones who do everything. They project. They just always project. That's their thing. They project onto Trump what they're guilty of. So Trump is a puppet of the Kremlin, yet they're the ones who presided over 20% of U.S. uranium capacity sold to that country. But ladies and gentlemen, hit subscribe to my super chat. Thank you. Let's look at this really quickly. So if you look, it's not just the New York Post. So Clinton is critiquing. Why do you think that she's critiquing Biden's administration? Okay, the reason is because she's going to run. She didn't 2 years ago because that, there are a number of reasons why she didn't run, or she didn't decide to run 2 years ago. I'm not going to get into them. Democrats felt they needed a warm body with a pumping heart, so it didn't matter if the person slurred his speech or said hi to deceased candidates or deceased Democrats or shook hands with ghosts. It really didn't matter. So they didn't want to risk it. And so perhaps the entire political system or political party said, nah, we're not going to let you run. This is different. Mashed potato brains is overwhelmed. He was never qualified at all. 2024, go away. Eric! I hope all is well. And Lance, hello. Patrick, hello. I hope all is well in Florida. Eric, hope you're doing okay. Pete, hello. She's running again. And this whole talk about Newsom has no chance. Nobody has a chance in the Democratic Party aside from Hillary Clinton. Now, I'm not a fan, but she's the best candidate that Democrats have. And you might say, well, you're nuts. You're completely nuts. Hillary Clinton is the best candidate Democrats have. That should tell you something about the Democratic Party. The same Democrats, the same progressives, the same socialists, the same liberals who say, oh, no, we can't have Hillary again, will disown friends and family who don't vote for Hillary because the alternative will be a great economy with Trump. They can't have that. We had record low in poverty under Trump and a record high in household median income. We had a record low in unemployment, record low Black and Latino unemployment. We had interest rates that were low with inflation low. And so they would rather have a stock market crash with a geopolitical nightmare in Europe. Eastside, hello. So you have to also understand, and I tried to, thankfully this live stream's doing better in terms of the internet connection than my last live stream. But you have to look, ladies and gentlemen, and you have to say, okay, well, what's going on? Pre-market trading, this means nothing. The market could go up tomorrow, but it's going to tank in the next couple of weeks far more. There's going to be a crash that I've predicted the crash that we've seen, but I'm also predicting a one-day drop of, 2,000 to 4,000, possibly more points in the Dow. And a Lehman Brothers moment with hedge funds going under, too big to fail banks. A big, big problem, unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen. So Hillary is waiting. She actually probably, along with Bill, is saying, hey, you know what? This is the perfect opportunity to say, look, this Democrat isn't doing well. And if you look at oil prices, she'll be far more of a centrist. Oil is going up above $100 like I said it would. Like I said it would, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not right about everything, but I've been right about a lot. The past 6 years, I've been right about a lot. The mainstream has been wrong about almost everything. Democrats, liberal pundits, progressive pundits, socialist pundits, oftentimes, I would say, the liberal pundits have been wrong on almost everything. Trump never worked with the Kremlin. Biden didn't save democracy. The economy, there's more poor people. Poverty has increased. They haven't decreased. It hasn't decreased. Poverty has increased under their watch. Increased. Okay? So, Eric, hello. It could be also this, this computer is, maybe the other computer is all messed up. I have no clue what's going on. I really don't. But this is like the mishandling of classified data. That's a Clintonian thing. It's almost certainly a Clintonian, like when they say that, oh Lord. I just saw that mosquito. High tones, hello. When they say that, I forgot my. I just was spraying the mosquito. High tones, hello. When people say, "Oh well, I'm not going to vote for Hillary again," and Hillary won't run, they don't have. There's nobody on deck. There's no six man. There's no. There's nobody waiting. Like President Obama had an amazing speech for Democrats in 2004. Then in 2008, he got the nomination. There's nobody waiting, like there's no up-and-coming Democrat. The vice president, Democrats don't want. The president and the vice president our current president and vice president never made it to Iowa, the first contest in their completely fake and phony primary, or never surpassed Iowa, okay? Nobody ever woke up at any point in time before 2 years ago saying, Biden would make a fantastic president. That never happened. That never, ever happened before. Ever. Okay? So, the thing is, ladies and gentlemen, you have a situation where Democrats don't need they don't even need a candidate, whether it's Hillary or Joe, or they don't need a candidate. They have their candidate is media, Hollywood, loyalists in government, social media algorithms. That's their candidate. That's their candidate. That is the candidate of the Democratic Party. It's not really like, they don't really run on issues. They don't really run on they don't really have a platform. Their platform is just a bucket list of things that they just want to accomplish because it feels good. And there's a lot of media behind them. So climate, it's a big problem. We have to save the planet. And so they go to bat against oil and gas companies, and then oil gets well over $100, and then they pump 200 million barrels of oil into the economy as they pontificate about the climate. Okay? And so, Joey, exactly. You have Ben Sass resigning. I mean, you have a situation, to my super chat, thank you again. I can't do this without you, ladies and gentlemen. You have a situation where the Democratic Party is not a political party. It is an American public relations monstrosity that masquerades as a political party. Okay? It is, Pete, it is. Lance, it is total tribalism. And Eric has brought that up too. It's total tribalism. They don't need, so when they say, well, Hillary's running, how could she run again? It'll be fantastic because we are still reliving 2016, ladies and gentlemen. We have never stopped. When Clinton, that night, we crossed the Rubicon. When Clinton lost and people were crying at the Jacob Javits Center because they were going to have record low unemployment and record highs in household median income in 2019 and hundreds of thousands of new manufacturing jobs and the Doha Agreement, which brought Americans home, that Biden was forced to abide by but completely botched. All these wonderful things that Trump did, okay? It was a hoot. Hello. They look good this year. They look really good. When Clinton lost to Trump, Truffles, exactly. They've never gotten over that night. The country has never gotten over that night. They mobilized with Comey and Strzok and McCabe and Clapper and Brennan in the New York Times, the Washington Post. They're like editors of these publications. All at once, social media algorithms, all at once said, if we do not support the thing, exactly. They said if we do not, in unison, converge against Trump, he could defeat us again. This is why they're going after him, because his foreign policy is not one of just send billions upon billions upon billions upon billions of dollars to you-know-where to potentially force an Armageddon-type scenario. He's all for negotiation. He doesn't have, these people worship sacred cows, ladies and gentlemen. They worship sacred cows. Trump smashes sacred cows. They run the world based on their sensibilities. Everything is how could you, how dare you, you have no shame, you have no shame. As they preside over catastrophic decision after failed, completely inept decision. And they learned, ladies and gentlemen, that if media and social media algorithms and Hollywood and government institutions like the National Archives that never had a problem with a president ever. Safety and happiness! Blue state extreme Marxism has been rejected. Exactly, safety and happiness. Thank you. But it hasn't been rejected by Democrats. That's the thing. To my super chat, thank you. Safety and happiness. That's true. That's true. I mean, it's been rejected by the entire planet, but not Democrats. They don't care about poop patrols. It's fine. It's like, more jobs. Safety and happiness. It's been rejected by, the average person, not by Democrats. Tony, that's possible too. Safety and happiness. It's been rejected by most people. I can tell you right now, there are people who've disowned me after 30 plus years of, friendship and there are people a number of people, about 7 or 8 or so. And nuclear annihilation, no problem. Recession, inflation, real wages down 8.5%, no problem. Poop on the streets, no problem. As long as Trump isn't in office. Thank you, Eric. Love you, man. Thank you, Eric. You have to understand safety and happiness, and everybody here, they have about a quarter to a third of Democrats don't care if there is a nuclear annihilation. They're fine. They would rather just set the clock back to zero, start it all over again. Their mentality will be, hey, you know what's better for climate change? No more cars. Well, no more people too, but no more cars. No more fossil fuels. There's probably about 5 to 10% of Democrats who would rather have a nuclear annihilation, like I'm not joking, than Donald Trump back in the Oval Office. Or at least maybe that's hyperbole. I don't think so. It's probably about 2% of Democrats. I bet if you had a poll, you would find 1 or 2% of Democrats who would actually prefer the end of the planet. Because there's a climate emergency, and what better way to just, start over. But you could probably have, you probably have 5 to 10% of Democratic voters, and I'm not joking on this. 5 to 10, safety and happiness, about 5 to 10% of Democratic voters would roll the dice with Armageddon. They would roll the dice with Armageddon. They wouldn't even care. They wouldn't even mind as long as it meant no Trump. You have to understand stopping Trump is a religious pursuit. It is like a holy battle. You saw a very revered and respected and cherished liberal intellectual atheist who said that he didn't mind censorship as long as it stopped Trump. But what did Trump do aside from a great economy, which is a fact, and a foreign policy that worked? What did he do wrong? Well, he got everyone upset at him. And the question is, were they really angry or upset or outraged at him, or were they just, was it gratuitous? Was the outrage gratuitous? Were they truly offended? Because when Biden makes numerous statements that are offensive, they're not offended. So, let me ask you this question, okay? I want to ask everybody here, and thank you again, Safety and Happiness. Thank you again, Safety and to my super chat. I can't do this without you. Thank you. What percentage of Democrats would rather have less than Okay. This is a serious question. John LaLanne! My man! I ran on a libertarian ticket in Hawaii, District 5, 2014. I'm quoted in the paper calling them all a bunch of commies. Yes! And that was the time, John, to actually to be a libertarian. I mean, more so than today, because you're just helping... the libertarians of today are just basically Democrats pushing, a platform that is the antithesis of their political party. But libertarians in 2014, yeah, I mean, that was the time to actually definitely do it. Excellent. John LaLanne, thank you. Very true also. Very true. John, thank you so very much. I hope all is well. Thank you for your support. And thank you for being here and watching. Greatly appreciated. John LaLanne, thank you so much, sir. Thank you. John, let me ask you this. I hope you saw the poll. What percentage of Democrats would rather have the end of the world than Trump back in office? I mean, you're probably talking about at least 4% of Democrats. They would roll with Armageddon. Well, I love Bob Marley, by the way. God bless Bob Marley. But they would rather have Armageddon than Trump back in office. It's a religious cult now. It's a doomsday cult, actually. I mean, you look at what's taking place. What part of recession and possible annihilation is a good thing? I don't know. John LaLanne, thank you so much. I mean, they are. and here's the thing. They don't even pretend not to dislike communism. A lot like socialism and communism are good things on the left. Yet they're the most authoritarian and impoverished systems. If you wanted poor people, then you would have socialism and communism. I would be considered an anti-communist. I think any rational human being who dislikes poverty and inequality would be an anti-communist. Communism is only poverty. Socialism, pure socialism, is only poverty. The Nordic countries that Bernard Sanders mentioned here and there, they were very quick to say, oh, we're capitalist. But we just have more government programs. Government programs doesn't mean you're a socialist country. You just have more government programs. There are about 4 or 5 actual socialist communist countries left. They're all impoverished in the world. See, the one way, the easiest way to defeat any socialist or communist in a debate is look at poverty rates. Just look at the poverty rate of the United States under Biden and the United States under Trump. 10.5% under Trump, record low. Biden, 15%. But look at the poverty rate in the 4 socialist countries, 4 or 5, like communist or socialist countries truly out there. Okay? You can look at the poverty rate in the former Soviet Union. Or I should say, there are other countries that you can list. Cuba, for example, is an example. Okay? You don't see many socialists in Western countries fleeing to the socialist nations that they care about. Safety and happiness! Closing down the mental hospitals and spawn the current Democratic Party. Yep. Well, it's mainly I think safety and happiness, John Lane. Safety and happiness, here's what I think took place. Now, I love Christopher Hitchens. John, safety and happiness. I don't know if you guys, liked Christopher Hitchens at all. I thought he was fantastic. Okay, even though I believe in God and, but he was an anti-theist. He was fantastic. He was an atheist. But he was a truly courageous, moral individual. Dr. Evil 814, better streaming this. Thank you so very much, sir. Yes. Yeah, I know. I think that the live stream gods are shining upon me right now. I don't know. It's so bizarre, Dr. Evil. Thank you so very much. Thank you so much. Joel Valdez. Did you read Durham's witness list sealed for their safety? No, I didn't read that. It's probably true. Wow. Durham probe starts. Joel. Tuesday. Dr. Evil, thank you. But, this is an important point, everybody. And John and Safety and Happiness and Dr. Evil 814 and Joel Valdez, here's an important point. The reason I bring up Christopher Hitchens is that he would look at today's Democratic Party and say it is an absolute dystopian nightmare. But he would also, this is my viewpoint, not anyone else's. What Democrats have done is they've done away with God. Now, if you want to be an atheist, fantastic. Just don't worship government. Don't worship government. Don't give your soul to anyone but God. Or keep your soul for yourself. But don't give your soul to James Clapper or John Brennan or James Comey or Peter Strzok or intelligence agencies or political parties. Keep your soul and your spirit autonomous. Don't pledge allegiance to a political party. I wasn't born on this earth to vote Democrat. There's about 50 to 60 to 70 million people who were born on this earth. About 50 million people who were born on this earth to vote Democrat, and that's it. About 60 million. Probably about half of the Democratic electorate will never in a million years vote Republican, even if it meant ICBMs flying above. Exactly, Eric, good point. They worship government, ladies and gentlemen. Dr. Evil, Joel Valdez, Safety and Happiness, John Lane, they worship government. That's the thing. When you worship, the whole point of being an atheist is that you are not going to... Truffles! Thank you, Truffles. Fantastic emoji. I appreciate that. Truffles, thank you so much. Thank you, Seth. Very, very kind of you. Thank you for your generosity. Thank you, Truffles. Dr. Evil, thank you. Thank you, Truffles. The whole point of being an atheist or agnostic, in many ways I'm an agnostic, but I do believe that there's a God that exists. The whole point is that you're not going to take a leap of faith, okay? A religious person or a person who believes in God says, look, there's somebody, and I do believe that all of our actions we're going to have to, at the end of our lives, justify those actions to God. But the whole point of like a religion or believing in God is that you're being watched by somebody infinitely more important than, or something infinitely more important than a security camera. Somebody that, that you can have a connection with. Okay, you can go on and on about that, but you're taking a leap of faith saying, you know what, I'm not sure if, that this is all there is in terms of existence in the universe. But you're taking a leap of faith. What Democrats do is they take a leap of faith when it suits them in order to bolster their cognitive dissonance pertaining to corruption on their side, or so they'll say, well, Clinton lost because of a concerted effort by the Kremlin. But there's no evidence of this. You're taking a leap of faith. You want to know why? If you read the intelligence reports, any holy book on the planet makes more sense. And is probably more realistic than the ODNI or DHS reports that have a high to moderate confidence assessment. Truffles, everybody here, they're taking a leap of faith with all their accusations against Trump, because the journalism is, people familiar with the matter, current and former U.S. officials. We assess the Kremlin wanted to interfere with Facebook ads. There is zero evidence of any of this. There is zero evidence. Nobody can even name a Facebook ad. And so you have a situation, ladies and gentlemen, where people are deliberately suspending logic and reason. If you want to say, well, religion is just, it's like, you're suspending logic and reason, you're believing these fables, you're believing these things. Yeah, but you know what? Religions in general at least give you a roadmap on how to live your life and how to stay out of trouble. Trusting the U.S. government when it comes to WMD or Facebook ads or how Trump is a menace to democracy will not keep you out of trouble. You see what's taking place now. We have mashed potato brains as president. Everything is worse. Diana, exactly. So it's just they go ahead and they have every media outlet to scream and yell at the top of their lungs. There's one publication, I'm not going to tell you the publication or the journalist, because I don't want to create a beef or, an issue or whatever. Every single article, almost every single article, a couple of journalists within a couple of publications write. Every single article is a hyperbolic, apoplectic headline talking about how Trump eventually will just go to prison. And it's not satire either. Like, no. It's every single It's like every single headline. It's become, opposing Trump has become this pseudo-moralistic, bizarre offering to the gods of the intel community or media. And here's the thing also. The groupthink, like, when did it become fashionable to seek acceptance? Everyone wants to be accepted. But it became fashionable. It became part of American culture as I guess it was always in a way very important. It's important to every culture, but when did musicians or bands when did it become a symbol of courage to fall in line like a lamb to slaughter. When did it become a symbol? Like, when did simply saying I dislike Trump? Like, how many people truly dislike Trump? How many people are just doing it because everyone else around them is doing it? How many people in Hollywood actually secretly like Trump? I would say probably 30% of people. Boater's Book, hello. Lance, hello. How many people out there at dinner parties, liberal, wonderful dinner parties, there's, oh my God, Trump, really? Well, okay. Do they realize who they have as president now? Mashed potato brains? Are they even worried about the end of the world? Do they even care? The freak, yes. So they don't need, like, granted, when I say that Hillary's running, I know that there's like shock value to that, and people are like, no, what, no. But as long as Bill and Hillary are Democrats, Hillary's going to run again. That's always going to happen. That will never stop. And they don't have anything better than Hillary. Democrats have nothing better than Hillary Clinton. They say Newsom was recalled. Like, he wasn't recalled, but there was a recall where people had to vote and he could have lost in a blue state. And it's very difficult to get a recall, like the signatures for a recall in California. Like, you're talking hundreds of thousands of signatures in a blue state. Okay? So, you're looking at a 2008 moment, because when oil goes up too quickly and the market tanks, so you're looking at futures, and the market could go up tomorrow. These futures are completely counterintuitive. But when there's a 2,000 to 4,000 to 5,000 to 6,000 point drop, you're going to see margin calls. You're going to see hedge funds go under, too big to fail moments. You're going to see a Bernie Madoff pop up. How many Ponzi schemes are around on Wall Street now? How derivatives trades, whether it's the credit default swaps for Credit Suisse. DD Win, yes. So you have a situation where, unfortunately, financially, the worst is yet to come. Unfortunately. And I've been saying this every single day since September of 2021. To my super chat, thank you again. Truffles, Joel, Dr. Evil 814, Safety and Happiness, John Lelane. It's interesting because you look at what are people willing to accept as long as Trump, like, they don't really have any critique of Trump other than their sensibilities are offended by this orange monster. They don't really have any true gripe with Trump. Everything they accuse Trump of, they're guilty of. So everything, like, look at, there's an invasion in Europe that's turning into a huge nuclear confrontation. And they're okay with that. Their response in this very bizarre and dystopian, like, their response is, well, at least Trump, look, imagine if Trump was in office. Like, yeah, imagine if Trump was in office. Gee, we wouldn't even have this. Want to know why? Because he would push a negotiation. Well, that's not what our alliance wants. Who cares what the alliance wants? A system of alliances in World War I led to, like, the end of the world almost. Well, I mean, not at that point, because you didn't have the armament we have today, but you don't want to worship also a system of alliances. See, this is the thing. The sacred cows, that's the issue. There are so many sacred cows that exist. So many sacred cows. Trump doesn't he doesn't care about the sacred cows. He doesn't worship sacred cows. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm running out of steam. I want to thank you so very much to my super chat. Thank you so much. I will be back tomorrow. And I'm looking at probably a 3 p.m., 3:30 p.m., maybe 4 p.m. live stream. I'm going to try to do it earlier tomorrow. That'll be my first, unless something, I think this week is going to be very busy. Huge news. So if it's a huge, big, important story, I'll do an upload. If it's just, some, interesting, important stories that aren't pressing immediately, I'll start with a live stream first thing tomorrow instead of the upload, and that'll be a little bit later, about 2, 3, 4 p.m. Pacific. So watch this channel. DD Win, thank you so much. To my super chat, thank you. John Lane, everybody here, thanks so much. Dr. Evil 814, thank you so much. Truffles, thank you so much. Joel, as always, thank you. Safety and happiness, thank you so much. Have a great evening, everybody. God bless. I'll see you tomorrow. Be here tomorrow, everybody. Hit subscribe also to the Stock Market Crash channel, H.A. Goodman's other channel, and also the shorts. Watch the shorts on this.